SEC Baseball Tournament Game 9 postgame press conference, joined by the Mississippi State Bulldogs, represented by head coach Brian O'Connor, along with all SEC designated hitter Noah Sullivan. In a moment, Coach will give an opening statement, then we'll take questions directed to Noah only, please. Easton and Sam are passing wireless microphones, so please wait to be called upon before asking your question. Coach?
Yeah, I just start off by saying that obviously we're disappointed that we're not advancing, right, clearly. But, I thought we battled the whole game, even there in the ninth inning. We just couldn't put enough good things together offensively, and they did. Obviously, the three-run home run was the difference in the ball game. And, I thought Duke Stone was pitching good. That inning started off with a rollover ground ball and then a two-strike hit. And, credit them, a 2-0 pitch. The guy hits a three-run home run. But, we have to be a little bit better, certainly. Noah would admit to that going into next weekend. But, proud of our team, how we competed. And, we'll go from there.
On the second row.
Noah, this time last year, you guys got beaten 9-0, and you were just kind of hoping to get in the tournament. You figured you'd be in. Maybe explain the difference this year. You guys come here, you win a game, good chance you're going to be hosting next weekend. So what's the last 12 months kind of been like for a Mississippi State player?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The transition has been really smooth. Coach Oak and the guys have really been amazing, and we've played ball a lot better than we did last year, and it's been a lot of fun.
On the first row on the left.
No, when you look at today, you guys have had a lot of strikeouts, seem like offensively, but you put barrel on the ball pretty much all day and just found the glove. And I think they had 4 double plays defensively. What was your assessment of the offense as a whole today?
Yeah, I mean, we swung it pretty well. We left some guys out there. Certain situations happen, but we just have to be better offensively as a whole. There's not one guy to just pinpoint, but we just got to be a better offense.
On the right side, fourth row.
Noah, what is your message to your teammates to put this loss behind them and then focus on the regional and not let one loss turn into 2?
Yeah, I mean, we've been here the whole season. It was a weird season for the most part with the sweeps and getting swept. So it's a place we've been. It's nothing different, and hopefully we can play at home.
Right in the center of the room on the second row.
Yeah, kind of on that, just how do you feel about the state of the team right now as you guys head into a regional, just the way you guys are playing at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing well. We're all excited. We want to play at home, and hopefully that does happen. But, I mean, this game, it is what it is. We didn't do enough on both sides, and it just is what it is. We'll move forward, get back to work, and see what happens.
On the third row on the left. That's you.
Noah, what does it mean, to see, honestly, with how you and Stallman both have multi-hit games, but how can you carry that offense into next week in the regionals and just how much you guys have prepped to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, we've worked really hard. We've done a really good job at leading on certain guys, and it doesn't really matter. We need 1 through 9, and we've done a really good job throughout the whole year. It's cool to see a couple multi-hit games, but obviously in the end, we want to win.
On the fourth row on the right.
Yesterday you guys scored 12 runs. Kind of what was the difference a little bit? I know you made contact today, but what was the difference in not being able to bring some of those guys home today?
I guess the pitching was a little better. Maybe we tip our hat a little bit, but we just have to be better in certain spots with a guy on first, not necessarily hit the ball in the air, but try to stay off the ground.
On the left side, second row.
You mentioned the sweeps and kind of the ups and downs of this season, and like today, there have been a lot of games that are very marginal in the difference, and you guys come up short. How do you stay focused? How have you guys kind of kept together through those, and what are you trying to do this time going into a regional?
Yeah, I mean, it starts up top. Coach Oak does a really good job of maintaining us and making sure we're looking forward and be where our feet are. And then on top of that, we understand we have a really good team, and it's shown throughout the whole year.
Last one for Noah in the center.
Ryder Woodson these last few weeks, ever since that kind of freak Drew Wires injury, seems to be hitting it pretty well and did in both of these games here at the tournament. Just what have you seen from him kind of behind the scenes and just the way he's swinging right now?
Yeah, it looks like he's locked in on everything. He's doing what works for him, and he's swinging it super confident, which is really important going down the stretch.
All right, Noah, we appreciate your time today. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Noah.
Thank you.
All right, there are questions for Coach. Let's start on the second row on the right side.
Coach, you said recently, it's important to kind of figure out, who you could trust. It appears like the last couple of weeks, Tyler Pitzer's kind of moving into that circle of trust. Where do you see him kind of factoring into your regional pitching plans?
Well, Steve, I think he's pitching some really great baseball the last 2 weeks for us, and he's executing his pitches. We've seen that kind of stuff that he's shown the last couple of weeks at periods of time this year, but you want your guys pitching their best baseball at this time of the year, and he certainly is. We have a lot of confidence in him, and that will continue. So certainly he'll be a key guy starting next weekend.
On the right side, third row.
Coach, barring a matchup in the Super Regionals or in Omaha, you've completed your first tour through the SEC. So
Right.
I asked you the same question I asked you last year. What are the expectations that you've seen that were what you thought they'd be? And then are there some things this year that were different or than what you expected?
Well, that's a great question. It's here we are now done with the conference tournament, and first and foremost, I'm very proud to be the coach at Mississippi State. I understand what comes with that, and the pride that not only the fans have, but the players and former players have in this baseball program, and I want to do everything I can as the leader of it to live up to it, right, of what the standards are in this program. Certainly this league is outstanding. It's, for a long, long time it's been considered the best baseball league in this country, and the reason is the team in the other dugout every night is going to be really, really good. And I'd say the thing that I learned is how narrow it is, how much the fringes matter. I don't think this is just in league play, but I believe this year we lost 7 games by 1 run. And you can look at it and say, well, what could we have done had we won those? Sure. But we're right there. We just need to be a little bit better starting next weekend in those tight ball games. I think there's a handful of games we lost by 2 runs as well, and so that's where I would say, Doug, that I've learned that there's just little things that we all have to be a little bit better to win those close ball games, because there's going to be a lot of them. I don't, other than maybe 1 game this year, if I can recall correctly, that we really were not very competitive, and that was Game 3 against Auburn. Every other game you felt like we were in it, and that's because of guys like Noah Sullivan and how much this program means to them. And and today's another great example that they're going to continue to compete, and that will be a cornerstone of our program moving forward.
Let's go in the center of the room, second row.
Yeah, how did you just feel about the state of the team and the way you guys are playing right now entering the NCAA tournament?
Sam, I feel great about it, right? Obviously, we didn't win a game today, and Georgia's got a really good team. Everybody's is good in this conference, so I feel great about it. Yeah, we're not on a winning streak and all that, but most teams aren't that are in this tournament. You're going to lose a ball game and you go home, but I feel great about it. Their spirits are up. Obviously, they're disappointed about today, but they really, really believe in each other, and I feel like this team has the skill and want to play for a long time.
Right side, fourth row.
Two-part question. Just to ask you about your team, the trust that you have in your guys face adversity. What is your message to your guys heading into regional play? And also, you mentioned the fringe things. What can you do in a week's time to prepare for that regional where you don't let 1 loss turn into 2?
I don't really worry about the 1 loss turning into 2. In this game, you have to have a very short memory, and you have to turn the page and put things behind you. And I, this team has shown at times this year an ability to do that. So, we'll put a plan together. Fortunately, we've been in this situation a lot, and we'll put the plan together of what we're going to do over the next 8 days or so to have them ready to go on Friday. I believe that will be at home, but if it's not, then wherever it is. And this team, like any team in college baseball, they'll be remembered by what they do moving forward, and that's the memories that they will have. Been doing this long enough to see that there's been teams that have had 50 wins or mid 40 wins going into the NCAA tournament, and they can't get out of a regional, right? And so nobody remembers the 44 or 45 wins in the regular season. We had 40, and it was a or 39 in the regular season. Added one here. We're a 40-win ball club, and there's not many of them out there. And so we'll dwell on the positive. When you play in a program like this of this kind of magnitude, there's a lot of negative around it. The players know that, right? And we'll dwell on the positive and get this team ready to go and excited and looking forward to the opportunity that they have in front of them.
Got time for two more for Coach on the left first.
Hey, Coach, got a chance to get Tomas and Duke in the ball game. Didn't get to see Ryan. How do you feel about Ryan heading into the postseason and kind of where he's at physically and mentally, I guess?
Physically, he's in a great place. I think mentally he's in a great place. He threw a bullpen yesterday in preparation to start on Saturday had we won. Again, when you're dealing with the injury that he's coming back from, it's not in our best interest or the young man's best interest to pitch today, right, on that kind of short rest, because his last time out there was Saturday. So we lined it up for him to start on Saturday. That's not happening. So, we'll do this weekend, we'll do some kind of inter-squad scrimmage so he can continue to drive his pitch count up. It's hard to say, Robbie. He's been out there twice after being out 7 weeks. I know how much it means to him. I know how much he believes in himself. He feels like his bullpen that he had yesterday was the best one and felt the best that he has since his return. So that's encouraging. I don't know what that leads to, how much he can give us. We'll see and evaluate that after this weekend. But that situation is what it is. You can't do anything about it, and you can't fast forward it, and you can't all of a sudden, get him to 80 or 90 pitches like that. It just doesn't work that way. So whatever he's able to give us next weekend, we'll take. And I feel confident enough that we have enough guys on that pitching staff to really do some damage moving forward.
Last one, second row.
Coach, when you were hired, Zach Selman said one of the reasons you were hired was to bring postseason baseball back to Duty Noble Field, and now you're a couple of days away from finding out if that's the reality. You said you expect those games to be at home. If it proves to be the case, what will that mean to you and this team to bring postseason baseball back to Duty Noble Field?
Well, Steve, thanks for that question. It'll mean a ton, right? Because that'll mean we did something special in year one under my leadership. It's razor thin. I've been in this situation many times that it's razor thin on whether or not you host or not. I don't think this loss has really anything to do with it. This team certainly is fully capable, and I believe that we've earned that right to play at home. The last thing I'd say, Steve, is you've been around this program a long time, that how much it means to the fans, right? And not that we play the games for that reason. They're part of what we do. They're with us. And I've felt that every day since joining this baseball program. We want to do anything we can to bring that back to Starkville. And so I hope on Sunday, the committee feels that we are worthy of that. I know our fan base and the community of Starkville will do an incredible job, hosting a regional, welcoming the other teams, and I believe this team has earned the right to be able to do that.
All right, Coach,